Intuition is a dangerous thing. Humankind has long sought answers, the truth about the stars, ourselves, and all of our reality. Reality defies understanding. Humankind takes shortcuts, leaps in logic, guesswork, acceptance of truths unproven. Reality defies understanding. Reality defies understanding. Intuition is a dangerous thing. Last time, y'all nearly burned down the sheriff's office. Well, you burned down part of it, at least very thoroughly. You wanted to make sure that the room you found the Deputy Jacobs' body in was cleansed, because last time you looked in there, the fungus was sort of spreading out from the corpse, like it was creeping through the room. So you contacted the fire department, got sort of a blessed burn ready here, where both the sheriff's office and the fire department knew about it. They were on hand and ready to intervene. You'd quarantine the location, all of that. And you got to burning. You investigated, could not find the body, could not find any fungus, but got to burning anyways. Later on, you found the body. Not in a state you probably wanted it to be in, though. High Tide was experiencing some kind of sixth sense. A sense that was pulling him towards this body. Pulling him deeper into the sheriff's office on the first floor, not in the basement where the morgue is. He investigated a few rooms, came back down to tell the others. The position of whatever was leading him towards itself had moved. You chased it down the hall and found the body of Deputy Jacobs. Completely unrecognizable, a fungal monster that had no recognizable human anatomy left, up in the ceiling of one of the back offices. A fight broke out, and after some very risky shots back and forth, that very risky shots that had a high chance of hitting each other. You had a high chance of hitting each other, I should say. You took it out. Whatever this thing was, it reminded you of those things you saw years ago, those things that crawled out of the barn and flew away, and all of that. You killed this thing. And it faded out into nothingness. It burned away as it died. And that was that. You decided to, wrap up operations in the sheriff's office, let the fire department take over the rest of the little cleanup and putting out the remaining fires, inspecting, making sure nothing else was going wrong, and so on. And then figured it was time to go and check on the house of Dr. Brent McCaslin. The man who had jumped into the fire trying to rescue Hematite's notes. The notes that were the only remaining source of this ritual you had recently learned. There are no remaining notes on the ritual. Hematite's mind was the only remaining thing keeping this ritual inside, and Hematite is no longer with us. But this man who jumped into the fire, this Dr. McCaslin, was clearly involved. He was, in fact, the man on the body cam footage. The man who vomited onto Deputy Jacobs originally. And before he died, your doctor, Dr. Collins, knew the exact location of not only the ritual bearer, but the ritual notes in the notebook in the car outside the burning house. And you guys put together people who are fully infected by whatever this infection is, this fungus. They know something. They're psychically linked in some way, or they have some weird timeline knowledge of some kind leading them to this ritual. So, Dr. McCaslin's house was definitely your next stop. You wanted to make sure there were no further threats there, no farther items of interest. You want to make sure that the place got cleaned up if it needed to be. And it definitely needs to be. You requested another cleanup crew from Delta Green to come and cleanse the place. You decided not to burn this one down. Just, it's going to take some cleanup. And you found some clues here. You found a notebook that you would be able to dig through later, a whole bunch of just scattered work notes about Dr. McCaslin's work, as well as a few pictures of him at work, including one in which he was wearing an underwater hazmat suit, and another in which he was dealing with another professional at the Benthic Corporation, Dr. Laura Gent. And that's pretty much where we left off. You guys are headed back to the hotel to meet with your new contact and to pick up your hazmat suits and all of that, and to send the cleanup crew back to Dr. McCaslin's house. But we're not going to pick up this episode with High Tide, Hunter, and Hallow. No, actually, we're going to pick up tonight's episode with Hematite. Hematite, you are in your shop. It is the 7th of March, 2005, a Tuesday. An ordinary workday. You've just been watching the shop as normal when you get a call from Grace. Do you pick up the phone?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I will pick up the phone and answer warily. Hello?
Hello, Agent. A group in the area is a man down and needs some backup. Are you available?
Sure. Yeah. Is this like, am I joining a new cell?
Yes. You'll meet your fellow agents there. They'll explain their code names to you, and you'll be joining them, of course. They can explain more upon your arrival. Please proceed
To my current one.
Agent, you're aware that you have no current cell. You've been a lone agent. Are you feeling okay, Agent?
Question. 1, this is Hematite, right?
Yes.
2, does Hematite remember everybody else?
Give me an intelligence check.
Like, what does Hematite remember about her life? Does she have memory of dying in a burning wreckage?
Start with that. Intelligence on Hematite is a success. You hear thunder. So you reach into your memories. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Flashing, strobing lights filling up your entire vision. Are they really strobing, or are they flashing brighter than brightness? Thunder. Continuing thunder. That music you've heard before, that's not any human music that makes any sense. This thunder repeating. Screams turning into melodies. More thunder continuing the rhythm. You do remember. You remember dying in a fire. You remember being in a cell. But you also remember being a lone agent. You remember going on a small number of assignments that we won't go into detail on tonight. But they have nothing to do with the assignments you've been on previously. They were much smaller in scale, much simpler operations. Go to point A, pick up objects, deliver it to point B, show up to an operation, add your occult knowledge to the situation and try to help out. You're almost more of a friendly than an agent, but you've been recently upgraded to agent status. You remember 2 lives, and you have a pulsing headache. You are going to take 13 sanity damage as hematite.
Hold on. I have a cat.
All good.
I have a breakdown.
You actually, in this case, we can skip the breakdown for now. But you do. You come to the sudden realization, and it hurts. These memories. You have too many memories in your head. But just take the sanity damage. And you
Also,
may perhaps.
breaking point.
Okay, we'll get to the breaking point later. But you hear Grace on the line saying, Agent? Agent, did I lose you? You went silent there for a bit, Agent. Hello?
Where do you need me?
Yes, as I was saying, head to this address. Tells you the address. And you'll be picking up a set of hazmat suits. You'll be bringing them to this hotel. She gives you the same address of the hotel that rings in your memories as you just died near this hotel where you were staying. And that sends another shock through your brain, but you shake it off. They'll be waiting for you, Agent. They'll explain more once you arrive. Are we good, Agent?
And I will.
Understood?
Yeah, this is just a little bit of a shock.
Of course. Just find the group of people who are waiting in the parking lot. Introduce yourself by your code name. They will understand, and they will give you yours. Oh, they will give you their code names, too, so that you can know them. Best of luck, Agent. This is a tricky one. As I said, there's already a man down. Be careful out there. And she hangs up. So, Hematite, do you head straight over, pick up the things? Anywhere you're stopping on the way?
Not finding her customary journal, she would start scratching new notes with an outline and the giant question circled and underlined, who am I? And then she would get on her way.
You drive over there, the questions ringing in your head. You pick up these hazmat suits, put them in the back of your car. It's still kind of detached from reality as you head there, and you do eventually get there. And the hotel seems all too familiar when you arrive. You see familiar cars parked in the hotel parking lot. Cars that you recognize from your last cell you were in. And in particular, you recognize a pickup truck. Very familiar, old pickup truck. There are a group of people standing outside these cars. And do you get out and approach them?
I do. Sorry, I don't know if it went through.
Oh, it did the second time. Okay. I assume the second time based on what you said.
Yeah.
You head over and begin handing out the suits, and there's 2 people that greet you. They say, your code name, please. I assume you're delivering these things. I can see by what you're carrying that you are who we assume you are.
Hematite?
All right, codenames confirmed.
Who are you?
I am Hawk, and this is Halo. And that back there is Hunter. And Hunter comes around from behind the pickup truck. Hunter, you are in this scene.
Alright, what would be the thing foremost in the front of my mind?
You have seen this woman before, but you're not sure where. Perhaps your dreams.
Are the other agents with me? Like, would I have been just in conversation with them a moment ago, or am I, like, getting something from the truck?
In Hunter's mind, right now, these are the agents that have been a part of your cell the whole time, and you've gone on multiple missions with them. And then, yes, you were just getting something from your truck.
Okay, I'm gonna just stop, pause, and squint. Try to think. Where have I seen you before? I'll give a... I assume that this woman is looking in my direction, probably with some recognition. If so,
Yeah.
I'll give like an awkward wave. Say, hi?
Don't worry about it. Another life. We can talk later.
That doesn't make me feel any better, but... hold on 1 second. I gotta check my list of mental complications. Okay. I keep thinking that paranoia is on the list. It is not. So I'm just gonna shake my head. Were we given... I can't remember if we were given, like, a password to give to people who might be, in the Delta Green chain of command previously, so that we could, like, identify if somebody that we meet is a friendly. Does that sound familiar to you, GM?
In this case, at least, you were just expecting the codename Hematite to line up.
Gotcha.
And it has. There probably are more complicated bits of tradecraft, but in this case, this is what you're expecting.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna start by saying Hunter before he introduces himself. Hunter, right?
Oh, so, yeah, that's right. Then you are...
Hematite.
Okay. That's good then, yeah. Yeah, we're, I guess we've been waiting for you to show up.
Oh,
Yeah, come on.
have you two been on an opera before?
No. Well, I scratch my head. I don't think so.
I
I guess we must have met sometime before when we were, like, debriefing or something. I don't know.
look that person in the eye and say, the less we all know, the better.
I heard that.
Yeah, well, if that ain't the truth. Alright then, let's load up these hazmat suits. And I think that's where we'll fade up from that scene, unless either of you have another thing to contribute to it.
Hunter's just gonna viciously convince himself that they must have just casually met before on Delta Green business and get back to busy work.
Alright.
Is real paranoid.
Understandably. Perhaps we see a puzzled...
Does Hematite have a phone?
Yeah, you have a phone.
Does Hematite remember the information from any of the other two's contact information?
I love this. Yes, you do. I think you passed that intelligence check. It maybe hurts you to think about, and you're like perhaps sweating a little bit as you type in the number, but you could type in the number. Or one of the numbers of an agent.
Do that, and
Who do you call?
I'm not going to call. I'm going to text because it's the 2000s, right?
Yep, 2005.
Yeah. So was Hunter the one who operated by pager?
Yes.
Okay. So High Tide's been our point of contact. So I am going to text High Tide, being like, in the car with Hunter and 2 other H-cell people, have memories of a completely different life. Are you real? And then sign with my given name, Sapphire.
Okay. So that's when we faded from that scene, is seeing you type this out and hit send and then waiting for a response. And now we see Agent Hallow. Perhaps High Tide is in the car driving you back towards the hotel. You get a text on your phone.
Wait, who was driving?
We'll say for convenience, High Tide is driving so that Hallow can receive a text on his phone.
High Tide.
Was it Hallow you texted? I'm sorry.
I think I texted High Tide because
That's my
he
bad,
was
then.
our, like, phone operator for this mission.
Oh no,
Hallow
it
was
was Hallow was the phone operator.
Okay, so I would have texted Hello then.
I've been
Okay.
on the phone a lot.
That's why I thought that. It was because, yes. Hallow
Yeah,
was the
I
phone
just
operator.
I just got the names mixed up, but yes, I would have texted Hello.
Okay, excellent. So you text Hallow. So Hallow receives the text, and it is from Sapphire.
And where did we leave Hunter before? I don't remember that.
Hunter's in the car
Hunter
with
was
you, I
with
think.
us, yeah.
Hunter
He
I think,
double
just stayed
takes
in
a
the car.
Hunter. You're just gonna double takes a Hunter? Like, what the fuck?
But also put like Hunter, comma, who doesn't remember me or our version of H Cell.
What are you looking at me like? What are you looking at me funny for, man?
Lot of reasons, bud.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I got a text from Sapphire.
What?
What?
She says she's with you, Hunter, and 2 other H-cell members, which is impossible because she is dead and you are here.
So someone has her phone and doesn't know that she's dead, and they're trying to lure us into a trap. So we can't let them know that we know.
Hello, call it.
I don't know.
No, they're not gonna pick up.
I mean, they just sent
That's
us
why they're
the text.
texting, right? It's because if they pick up, then obviously we're gonna hear that it's not her. So we gotta turn this thing around. We gotta get them before they get us.
I want to know more from this person.
I check how much ammo I have.
Full magazine.
Hallow responds to the text message with, if this is some kind of sick joke, please stop. If you are who you say you are, I need more proof.
Ask how many thermites.
Yeah. If you somehow are you, tell me how we parted last.
And Hematite, you received that text.
I have that memory, right?
Yes. Like you passed the intelligence check. You remember, that stuff at least. I think the moments leading up to your death, like the few weeks before then and stuff like that, all easily comes to your memory right now. If you want like detailed memories from very far back, things like that, it might be more intelligence checks, but yeah.
Okay. I would say I ignited a grenade I took from the bunker. And I remember a fire, and that's it. And then I'll ask, what happened to my journal? I don't have it.
Hmm.
She told us where they were going, right? Or Joanna, she just texted
Hematite?
that?
No, she's just... Oh, now she's putting two and two together. So she sends that message, and then she quick shoots another one. I'm bringing I met up at the hotel with where one of your trucks is, and I've got some hazmat suit.
He'll text her back.
So you got the how she died, where's my journal, and
And then she's got hazmat suits.
Yeah.
I did have a question. Did you say hematite is on the 7th of March? Because we're currently on the 10th of March.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
But they on the 10th of March received it?
Correct.
Lovely.
I don't think either of you have exchanged dates, but yes, us, the audience, do know that these dates are different. Unless one of you wants to send a, hey, what day is it over there? But that seems like a silly thing to think of in the moment.
Yeah. Alright, so she's shared that they have hazmat suits. Alright, he'll reply back. Okay, so before replying again, go ahead.
Where is the truck that I saw in the parking lot on the 7th currently? Is that what they're driving in?
I don't think you took the truck. I think you took High Tide's car.
Yeah, I think we were in
Yeah.
High Tide's car.
Okay.
Because he had like an SUV or something.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah. So he turns to the guys. This person claims to remember everything, and she knows about how our hematite died, and she has hazmat suits, which sounds like she's our backup somehow. But the duplicate hunter still bothers me.
Yeah, Hunter, do you have any of this knowledge? Do you know anything about this?
I'm right here. I'm talking with you right now. I'm not on the other end of wherever that is.
Are you Hunter?
Yes, of course I'm Hunter.
Is it safe to say the three of you believe this is hematite on the other end of the line, or are you still skeptical?
I think I'm still skeptical.
Hunter doesn't
Okay.
think it's hematite.
All right.
So then it's something took over her body or something. Like there's got to be an explanation for this, but I am not over there. I am sitting right here. I am Hunter. I have been with you this entire time. What do I have to do to prove that I'm actually here? What is more likely, that there's something really weird and wrong on the other end of that phone, which I keep telling you all, it's a bad idea to be using them. Stuff like this is gonna happen, probably, I guess. Or that I'm the one who's doing something or being something I'm not supposed to be, and that somebody came back from the dead, and that I'm actually on the other end. Which of those is more likely?
More likely that you're you. You're right. This knowledge is concerning. It reminds me of the fungus.
And
Yeah, I
since,
mean, they all have shared knowledge.
since that knowledge is concerning, those of you who are not adapted to helplessness, please roll me a sanity check.
Aw.
All right. So, Hallow, you're going to take just 1 point of sanity from helplessness, and you can check an additional helplessness box.
I have now adapted to helplessness.
Oh
let's
no.
go. So stuff happens when that happens, and we should do that now because I forgot about it last time. Permanently lose 1d6 POW. It does not change
Ew.
your current sanity. Oof. That sucks.
It does.
But you now automatically succeed sanity checks against helplessness. Violence.
Great.
And Hunter succeeded, so no change for Hunter.
Which is frightening given the circumstances.
Yes.
Can we just say that if Hematite's like now looking at her phone and realizing what day it is and realizing it's 3 days before she, or like days before she dies, right?
Yeah, you could probably realize that.
Like, I think she would call just to see if this is like, oh crap, what if somebody else is on this phone and I'm giving a whole bunch of information away?
Right. All right, so you guys on the other end, Hallow, High Tide, and Hunter, you're having this conversation like, maybe it's a trap. Who could this be? Somebody's got information on us. Something has information on us. The phone starts ringing.
I told you we should have called before they called us.
What difference does that make? It's still a phone call.
No way. Don't pick that up. There's gotta be something they can do to you through the phone.
I don't know about that, but listen, if we don't answer, they're just gonna call again, right?
So turn off the phone.
He answers it anyway. He puts it on speaker.
All right, you two are connected.
What do you want? We have
Oh,
Hunter here is very distressed.
wait. Okay, real quick. What day is it?
What do you mean? What day is it? It's the 10th.
How are you alive?
Fuck.
Are you on a different branch?
It's the 7th.
Is this what the doctor was talking about? Is this what was happening to us before?
Maybe? I'm at the opera right now, so I can't necessarily say much. But I wanted to make sure it was you and I wasn't texting someone else.
We're still not entirely sure you're you. Because, well, I mean...
Fair enough. I'm not either.
Where are you headed right now? If you have hazmat suits, it sounds like we're expecting some backup and hazmat suits.
Clear.
Well, we're regrouping from handling another situation. Let us know when you get to your destination, or once you know what it is, and we can plan from there. If you are who you say you are, very happy to hear your voice again. If you're not, things might get rough.
Concerned, but happy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you once this is over. gotta hang up now. I gotta get back to work.
Yeah, so do we. We'll be expecting your call.
Sounds good. I will hang up and then text them the whole dual life, dual memory scenario.
Okay.
Once the phone
And-
hangs up as well, I would turn the music in the car up a little bit so I don't have to think.
And along with the preface, if this is a new branch, it fucking sucks because I can't think of you guys without getting a migraine of huge proportions. And then describe the life I'm quote unquote supposed to have and the memories I have.
All right, so you send over a monster text that contains a lot of details, so that everyone's synced up on information here.
Probably cost you $5 to send it.
Probably. Everybody who heard that conversation, which it sounded, I wasn't sure if it was on speaker or not, but it sounded like maybe it was based on how people were interacting. Everybody who heard the conversation, roll sanity.
Yep.
See, this makes a little more sense.
Hella just holding it together as usual.
Sanity check for hematite as well.
Oh, hematite
Sorry,
needs a sanity check?
Sorry, I didn't specify, but I meant to imply. Okay.
Sanity of 9?
Yep.
Yeah, hematite took 13 sanity damage.
1 point of sanity from the unnatural for except for Hallow. Hallow succeeded, so it takes none. Okay. So we'll say conveniently timed. You hang up. High Tide turns up the volume on the music, and you guys are pretty much at the hotel at this point. You're turning down like one more street and then pulling into that parking lot. You do see Hunter's car is there. Left it. The truck is just chilling. It's parked with everyone else's cars there. Doesn't appear like anyone has stolen Hunter's truck, in case you were worried about that or anything. And somebody is waiting for you, parked right next to your cars. And I will let Joanna describe the person and the vehicle.
Okay, so this person's driving a used car, kind of middle of the range sedan, probably a Toyota. Doesn't look binged up. It's pretty nondescript, kind of a dark blue color. And the person looks like really rushed and scattered. Mousy brown hair. It's pulled back in a ponytail, but like there's flyaways everywhere and it's like curling a little bit. You can tell that this person probably has curly hair and tried to tame it. And she's a little on the shorter side. And yeah, just like looks a little anxious, ready to jump into action at any moment.
All right. So this situation at the hotel is clearly very different from the situation I described to you over the phone. What are you guys doing?
Looking at Hunter a little worried as we get out of the car.
Hunter is making a concerted, deliberate effort to keep his hand away from his gun. You know what? Probably best if one of you handles this. I'll be cool.
Are you sure you're doing okay, Hunter?
I'm not doing okay. But I'm fine for right now. Not gonna do anything unless things get real weird here. And we got no reason to think they will, right?
Not right now, as far as I know.
Well, there we go.
Am I wearing a hazmat suit?
I guess that's up to you. Would you arrive in one?
Yeah, if she's aware of the contagiousness, yes, she would.
I think you've been given at least a brief on some of the details, that there is some kind of infection here. They probably didn't give you literally every detail that has been reported, but the details that are known about the infection, the fungus, have definitely been passed on. I think, since you're going to be a new agent helping out.
Amending descriptions. Kind of skinny body in a hazmat suit, carrying a bulky med kit. That's about all you see because of the hazmat suit.
Makes sense?
All right. Getting out of the car, Howell will approach and observing the hazmat suit, asks, you've confirmed your code name? I assume you've been sent here for the opera?
Yes, codename Hestia.
And we'll say,
Welcome.
for the sake of it, that Grace did let you know that codename Hestia is who you should expect.
Probably got a text message on the road.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the team, Agent Hestia. I see you've been briefed on contagion. That's good.
Yeah, they said you needed a medical personnel, so you've got one now.
Oh, splendid. Yeah, our doctor succumbed to the contagion.
At this point, are there big black vans in the hotel parking lot? Are they still cleaning the hotel room?
There
Or do
are
we
a
not
few
know?
vans in the parking lot, yes. They're not big black vans though. They are 3 vans that are all from apparently different cleaning companies that have arrived here. Like different just commercial cleaning companies from the area. But they're all parked right next to each other.
I would kind of point over at them. I assume the cleaners are still here.
Probably. That means we have, I don't know, maybe one room to talk in. I can't imagine they're using both. So we'll head up to one of the 2 rooms to debrief.
Okay.
And once we get into the room, the first thing I will say as well is, so we're not going to tell Grace about what happened?
That doesn't sound like a good idea right now. Unless you really want to.
Nope, that was my opinion. Don't want to be decommissioned before we get the mission.
Yeah, I think we should keep this on the down low. Grace hasn't really reacted well when we've described unnatural things in the past, and this feels pretty fucking unnatural to me.
Sorry to intrude. Is this something I need to know about as well?
Probably not, but like if somebody happens to call you claiming to be one of us and they say something that sounds just completely out of whack, just like Ask them what day it is. And, like, if it's not today, hang up and let one of us know, and maybe we could fill you in more, but that shouldn't happen, so you probably don't even need to worry about it.
Wait, so I was briefed on a contagion. Are you saying that time might be a variable here?
No, definitely not, but, like, you never know, right?
You gotta account for everything.
We're on an opera. There's been a lot of weird shit so far, and I can only imagine we're gonna see more.
Well, not the weirdest thing I've heard.
That's
No.
concerning.
We'll see. We'll see if we can break that.
Good luck. Oh, I guess I should mention, in my normal life, I'm an ER nurse.
Oh, that's
Oh,
really helpful.
wonderful.
And that's really cool.
Yeah. We get a lot of psychos on the night shift.
Yeah, I
You're
bet.
gonna have to work really hard to surprise me.
Do you want to see what's next door?
Oh no.
Yeah, depending on how done the cleaners are, we might be able to surprise you right now.
That sounds like something I'm contractually obligated to say no to, oddly enough.
Well, don't worry. Our first destination today, I think, will be pretty much, well, should be fairly safe or mundane.
Okay.
Uh,
Look. I know I'm probably I know I'm new. I know I'm young. But I get the distinct feeling that there's some information I definitely need to know to survive that I don't have.
okay, so
Don't get vomited on. That's really bad. Don't breathe in mold. That's really bad. If
don't
you
let the
want to,
infected touch you. That's
yeah,
also really bad.
yeah, that one. If you want to eat metal, if you just if the moment you start to think, I could really go for some pennies right now, uh, immediately tell one of us, because that means that you've been infected and you're gonna start to lose your cognition, and you're gonna start to not cooperate with us no matter how well you feel. So, like, we gotta restrain you immediately. Trust me, I've already had to go through the treatment, and, like, I made it through the other side, but it was really bad. Um, but it would have been
That's why
so
I'm in
much.
the hazmat suit.
Well, yeah. That's a real good step. Just
But
yeah.
there's something else, like team dynamics, like I don't know, just something in the air. Is there I can treat this as patient confidentiality.
I I mean, we just lost a team member. We're coming back to this opera after kind of good number of years after our our first, and I guess you could call it the last opera and the first opera, and we're kind of running into just some. Well, we really didn't solve the problem last time, and I think we all just really want us to solve it this time without too many people dying.
Yeah, I understand. If there's any more information you think I need to know, let me know. Otherwise,
will do.
yeah, I respect your boundaries.
Can I try to recall the treatment and like mention it? How it's an acidic thing and you need to use the baking soda?
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely mention
Been
it, and
briefed on something like that.
yeah. I think I think it's more fun if we let High Tide try to explain it here. And Yeah. So how do you explain that, Hi Dad? Do you want to roleplay that, or do you just want to suggest it in third person?
Oh, I was just suggesting it in third person, and I was gonna like try to start talking about it because I performed it on Hunter and did really well, and it made him feel all better. So I kind of confidently would mention it with probably some blunders, and
Yeah.
a doctor would nurse would probably recognize that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's probably a little appalled at some of what we did.
Um, possibly.
Make a medicine check
I
to
was
try
gonna
and figure
say,
out the actual procedure.
yeah, I think medicine at 40% extra. This is an actual procedure, so like it's being described to you, and you're briefed, and like probably come up. So at
Okay.
plus 40%, that is a success.
Okay.
So you recognize it, and you are picking up the truths hidden in all of the other things High Tide is saying, and you realize what procedure he's talking about and what method of treatment he's talking about, and you recall the correct way to do it. It still will
Uh,
require you to make rolls to administer it successfully because it is tricky, but you do know how to do it.
and I think for flavor at the end of it, I would say, yeah, and don't just shovel baking soda down your throat because that hurts. It's not good.
Yeah, Hunter didn't
Well,
really appreciate that when we did that.
I definitely can imagine why. Um, I think I have an idea of what your doctor did. In the future, maybe let me handle it instead.
I will not argue that. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, I'm not either, but I've handled my fair share of knife and gunshot wounds, so there's that.
Have you ever handled any wounds from, you know, weird things? Because that's, I think, what we're dealing with here.
Uh, I mean, I got recruited because I was okay with something a little unnatural. I just happened to be there when an agent came in and they needed life saving care. And then I got recruited afterwards. So, sort of, but this is my first opera as well, so
Well, brace
do with that what
yourself.
you will.
We'll do what we can to keep you out of harm's way.
Hopefully, like you like no gray men phasing in and out of material. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
And their mushrooms. Don't forget their mushrooms.
Okay. I'm gonna assume I will understand what you guys mean when we get there. I will ignore all of it until then.
It's surprisingly literal, but understood. So we've got to
I
go
really did
to.
not need to know that right now. Well, do I?
I mean, you said you wanted to know all of the dangerous stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. If you're being serious, okay. Do I need to roll sanity check?
I think right now you're just being told some details, and it sounds like you may or may not believe them yet. So I think not yet. Once you start seeing things, though, and like the unreality starts to set in, if that makes sense.
I think coming in from an outside perspective, I probably am also like there to keep an eye out on if they're compromised. So I'm like, yes, this may well be true, but also it may be a situation inspired hallucination, and I will figure out which one when we get there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's still a possibility what you're hearing isn't true yet. So I don't think you need to make a sanity check.
Okay. So time weirdness. potential aliens and mold. Got it.
Fungus. Space mushrooms.
Okay. Fungus.
Oh, and weird crustacean creatures that we only know as dogs, but they're definitely not dogs.
We'll keep an eye out for crustacean dogs.
All right, so
Gotta
on
say,
to
this is definitely more interesting.
yeah, that's a word for it. It's definitely a word for it. So our next thing we were gonna do. So we had tracked down the source of this. Well, okay, so he fills. So Hallow fills Hestia in on kind of like the background of why we're here, and the initial like guy on the road who vomited on Deputy Jacob and all of that. And so we're headed over to Benthic Corporation now because in Dr. McCaslin's house, we found some research notes mentioning another doctor there who was apparently also diving into Eden Pit. So we need to follow up there before we go anywhere else. But Eden Pit is probably our source of everything that's going
Name
on
a
in this
pit
town.
after the Garden of Eden.
Apparently, when it's an asbestos mine.
Ooh, okay. You guys have hazmat suits, right? And like N95s?
I
I mean,
thought you were supposed to bring them.
Yeah, I thought you were bringing hazmat suits.
GM, do I
one.
have them?
Yes. Yeah, you were arriving with the hazmat suits. I don't think I
Okay.
communicated that to you before, but yes, that is correct.
Okay, never mind. Then
That's my
I
bad.
will say, all right, so that's why you guys needed that. All right, hazmat suits are in the car. I will pop the trunk, and there it is full of hazmat suits.
Great. Let's get to Benthic. Who wants to drive?
I'll drive.
I'll drive as well. I need to run some stuff over. I got the roll cage in the front.
Taking
All right.
multiple cars?
Probably two. I'll ride with Hunter if that's all right.
I
Sure is.
with whoever else is left.
All right, that would be me, I believe.
All right. You take a couple cars over, sounds like. And Benthic's not very far away. It's just out of town, a few miles out of the way, basically. It's up near Eden Pit. Well, I guess it's a small handful of miles out of the way, but still, it doesn't take you more than a 20-minute drive out of town to get there. And you arrive, and it is a not a terribly large lab. You can see. You do start to see like warning signs of contamination once you start getting close to Eden Pit, and indeed the roads that lead towards Eden Pit are like all locked off, and there's locked gates and stuff. The fences don't appear like incredibly high. It seems mostly just to, you know, warn people off more than like be an extremely sturdy. It's not like chain link fences with barbed wire or anything. It's just like, yeah, you shouldn't go here. This is trespassing. It's dangerous. Don't fucking do it. It's kind of like the warning signs that are around those gates, but they are locked. However, you take a different road that kind of follows along those fences for a little bit and then turns up towards a small lab building, which does have actual like chain link fences with like barbed wire on the top and all that. And there is a booth out front with a guard stationed in it, and like a lifting gate to let cars in and out and all that kind of stuff. And there is a small parking lot outside the gate that could hold, you know, half a dozen cars or so if need be for certain circumstances. But what are you guys doing as you approach? And whose vehicle is in the lead?
Hunter's vehicle will be in the lead. And he's keeping a couple squinty eyes out for any more otherworldly horrors that might decide to pop up on today.
As we approach, Hollow just kind of looks over at Hunter and is like, okay, we're approaching a guardhouse. Keep
Yep.
your gun put away, please.
My hands are on the wheel. They'll stay there for now.
Right. I'll do the talking.
So, to clarify, we all have FBI badges. Does Hestia have one too?
We'll say yes. I think Grace would have procured one for Pestia at this point.
Okay.
Just for this operation, at least. Or like FBI consultant badges. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think if I recall from many weeks ago when we started this mission, you guys are using your real names, I believe, but you have been actually contracted by the FBI if you aren't FBI agents and things like that, because you're going through so many layers of official law enforcement here that like at any given time somebody might look up your name, and your name actually needs to exist in the correct legal places and be assigned the correct faces for facial recognition and all that kind of stuff. The records need to line up. So they made the records line up, but you're all using your real names for dealing with official things, and that's what's on your badge. But yes, so you're approaching. So it's Hunter's vehicle approaches. Guard motions for you to roll down your window as you approach. He kind of opens up the door to the booth and steps out close to your vehicle.
Roll, 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 roll.
The guard stands there awkwardly. Hey, can I help you?
Hold on.
Hello.
Here's my ID.
Yeah, I don't recognize y'all. Are you visitors today? You got appointments? I can check on the sheets. He pulls out a clipboard.
No appointment, but we're here looking for Dr. Laura Gent.
Yeah, I know Laura. Okay. Do you have like an appointment? Does she know you're coming?
We do not have an appointment, so she probably doesn't know we're coming, but we are coming here with regard to Dr. McCaslin. We have news about his current status, and we're concerned for Dr. Gent as well.
I see. You should, if you have concerns for Dr. Gent, you should take that up with her outside of office hours during her personal time. Is what we recommend.
This is related to her work.
Hold on. Let me contact my chief. He pulls out a radio from behind the booth and closes the booth door, so his voice becomes muffled as he starts saying some things back and forth, and he flips a few pages on his clipboard. While he's distracted with that, is anyone doing anything?
I'm holding my ID awkwardly out because I said I was going to get my ID, even though he has no reason for my ID.
I think Howell will be looking around to see if there's Dr. McCaslin was hiding in the bushes before outside the house, so he's going to be scanning the tree line pretty hard, looking for any more creepy watchers.
Okay,
I would be looking at.
Yes.
Oh, deal with that first.
Okay, let's get what everyone's doing in the meantime, and then I'll assign roles as needed. Can happen simultaneously.
I was going to be looking at cars that have been sitting in the parking lot for a while, not moving. Because it seems like Dr. McCaslin was walking around, so I believe his car. Or was it at his house?
So I believe his car would have been at his house.
Okay, then I would not be. I would be looking for.
Yeah, so there's like a small parking lot outside the gate here for like a few cars, and then there's another small lot inside the fence, but it's too far away for you to get a good look at it without like binoculars. Like the fence is a few hundred feet from the. So you can see cars in the parking lot, but I don't think you can get too much detail than that. Anything Hestia is doing at the moment?
Hestia's mostly along for the ride.
Right. So Hallow, go ahead and roll alertness then, as you can like watch the trees and stuff. Critical success. Okay.
Hey boy.
You look around, and at first you scan the tree line, right? And you don't see anything suspicious out there. So that you kind of shrug that off a little bit, like, okay, felt like you were very thorough about that, and you just keep your attention in that direction. But then, a glint does catch your eye, and it's coming from the top of the lab building. And you look in that direction, and you see just a tiny black like speck on top of the roof from this distance. Could be somebody's silhouette, and a glint just passed over you.
He looks down at his chest. Does he see anything? Does he see
No
a red dot on him
Nope.
or Hunter?
No red dots anywhere.
Hey, Hunter, do you got binoculars?
No, why would I have binoculars?
There's someone on top of the lab building.
Well, there's a scope on my rifle, but it's in the back. You could get it, I guess.
I don't think that would go over very well.
Yeah, probably not.
I love that idea, though. Like, just pulling out a scope in front of a security guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the scope. It's fine.
Yeah.
I guess, you just go look for it. I'll say you had to go pee in the bushes.
I still don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think there's anything we can do aside from just sit here, unless we want to do something bad. But I'm down to do something bad. Something's got to happen. Oh, he's coming.
All right, you folks just sit right here. My chief's coming down. He's walking down right now. He's going to talk with you. All right, you just sit tight.
Okay.
Do you have a waiting area so that we're not just blocking the road, or?
Yeah, pull off into the parking lot right there.
Okay, I'll pull off to the side. I start pulling toward the bushes.
Right.
And as we're once we park and as we're waiting, Hallow will convey to the others about the glint, and if any of you guys are particularly sneaky,
So I am
get some eyes on the roof.
To be clear, pulling not toward where he said to pull, but just like to the bushes on the side of the road.
Okay.
Does he care? Does he tell me to go into the parking lot instead?
He seems puzzled by this, and he kind of just looks like he's keeping a strong eye on you, but he doesn't tell you to do anything else.
So like you could get out and crawl through the bushes from this place, from this position that we're in.
Seeing this weird parking, I would park my car behind the truck.
Okay.
And Hallow will send a text message to High Tide, saying like, also telling him to watch out for the roof, and if you have binoculars or anything, maybe get an eye.
I know I have the flashlight.
Okay. So you can see somebody walking down the long drive from the lab towards the gate, and as they get closer, it's another security guard here. But what are you doing in the meantime? Is someone actually enacting a plan to inspect the roof?
I'm not good at sneaking, and that's why I'm trying to ask the group if anyone's good at sneaking or can, like, get a surreptitious look with a detached scope without drawing too much attention. Because otherwise, I don't think I have anything to do other than just, like, get out of the car and be ready to talk.
I have a
Can't
12.
say I have much experience sneaking around. I mostly try and make myself seen and heard so I don't bump into people at work.
A lot of sense.
If someone is going to start doing something, I would most likely go up to the security guard and start asking about Dr. McCaslin and trying to distract him to get him to look away.
If he's
Okay.
distracting him, then Hala will definitely be trying to get the scope and take a look.
All right. So yeah, we'll say there's a quick conversation, and he just keeps on answering your questions with like, "Sir, these are things I'm not supposed to talk about. You should wait for the chief. He'll explain things. I'm just here to. You understand, I'm sure." Back and forth like that. Um, so you can take a plus 20% on a stealth roll to try and inspect the roof.
Still not going to be good. But it's what I said I was going to do.
With a plus
I
20%.
I get it.
That is a success. Just
Wow.
barely. So
Wow.
you pop out of the other side of the car, quickly grab the scope from the back of the truck, and just glance up at the roof, and you do see what you suspected. There is a man on the roof of the building, apparently prone or like mostly prone up there. You can only see like his shoulders and his head very, very close to the edge of the roof, like he's trying to keep as low profile as possible. And you definitely see a rifle. It's not aimed at you at the moment. It appears to be aimed down at High Tide, who is closest to the security guard.
Okay. He's got the information he needed, so he's just gonna put that down and get into a good conversational position for the chief.
All right. Chief arrives, and the other guard kind of goes back into the booth and sits in there, leaves the door open, but you can tell. Does anyone have a human over 50? 50 or over.
Yes.
Okay. Both of you can tell by the angle he's sitting in the booth, and like the way his body is positioned, he has his hand on something and he's ready with it. You suspect a weapon. But he's not pulling it out. It's just like, he's got the weapon behind the wall kind of deal. The chief opens up the gate, walks through it, closes it behind him. Hey, good morning, folks. Trevor Bostwick, Chief of Security here. How can I help you?
Hello, Chief. We're here from the FBI. We're consulting on a recent bioterrorism event going on. And we have reason to believe that the contagion that they're using in their attack came from this lab. And we're concerned for the safety of the other doctor working here.
Understood. We are fully willing to cooperate, but I have to ask you, Agent, do you have a warrant?
No, we don't have a warrant.
Then I'm afraid my cooperation ends there. I recommend you go through your chain of command, get things looking all correct on your side, and come back with one.
I would chime in and say, well, what about Dr. McCaslin?
What about Dr. McCaslin?
Has he shown up to work?
Yes.
No, he's been absent for a few days.
Would you be any more cooperative if we told you that Dr. McCaslin was one of the perpetrators?
I'm going to recommend you again to get a warrant and come back. We have procedures for these things. How it goes.
And if you don't
Um,
mind waiting there for a minute, I'll call. I'm going to make a call and see if we can't make that quick. Hal's going to step a few feet away and call Grace.
Okay.
And while he
Um,
does that, I will say, are you able to at least give us Laura's address so we could potentially check up on her outside of work hours?
Not without a warrant, Agent.
Above
We are not
table, we
going to
can
give
just get that
you.
from the cops.
Yeah,
I
we are
know.
not going
I'm
to give
just
you
trying to-
anything without a warrant. This would be a legal nightmare if we did anything else. I'm sure you understand. Give me a human roll, High Tide.
Human
You're up
roll.
and talking with them directly. Um, you can tell that. I mean, obviously, a warrant makes sense here, right? But there's more to it than that. You almost feel like, based on the way he kind of slowly meandered down the drive, based on the way he is talking and kind of stonewalling you here and deliberating about his responses, it feels like he's stalling you.
Is there any movement on the road?
Give me an alertness test.
Oh,
Nope, no movement on the road.
How about the other two? What are you guys doing?
I'm getting more and more restless. I'm probably looking cagier with every word out of this guy's mouth.
Okay. If anyone else who's not like doing anything active at the moment could just give me like an alertness test just to see if you passively notice things. Critical success. Okay, Hunter, you
paranoia
don't see
works.
any paranoia at work. Yes. The Hunter rapidly developing paranoia. The most paranoid, not diagnosed as paranoid person. Nothing coming down the road. Person on the roof's not moving. The person in the booth's not moving. You are very sure that like the guard in the booth and the officer in front of you are the only people like currently here, and the guy on the roof, I guess. Those three people are the only people you can detect around you on that critical success.
Okay. All right, I guess we're leaving then. There's nothing we can do. We're gonna have to go request a warrant.
Well, that's what Hal is doing. He's on the phone to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we could just do it through a phone call. I think we have to like go to a judge and stuff for that. I don't think you could just do that over the phone. But I don't know. I don't know. Hand very casually grazes right near his holster, then he snaps it right back up to the wheel. I don't know, I guess.
So, hello, you're calling Grace, right?
Yep.
Yes, agent.
Hello. Can we get a pretty quick warrant to get inside Benthic Corporation? Their guard chief is stonewalling us without one.
How quick are we talking, agent? Are we talking?
Within
Are we talking?
Today would be good. Tomorrow would also be okay, but given
Not immediate.
events, yeah, I mean immediate would be even better, but it sounds like that's less possible.
Immediate brings certain complications. Complications that should not be said over the phone.
Of course. Well, if we can have that tomorrow, we can investigate other lines of inquiry for now.
Very well. We will expedite the process. We'll get that to you tomorrow. Of
Thank you.
course.
And I'll hang up the phone and yell over to the guard chief. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you're ready to receive us then.
Yep, we'll expect you.
Can we see how many cars are in the employee parking lot? Or is that too far away?
I think you could count them. Yeah. I won't make you roll for that. You've been sitting here for a minute. I'll give you a rough number at least. How does that sound?
Well, I mean, just I assume it's a work day, and
It
is it
is.
pretty full or is it pretty empty?
It looks pretty full. It's kind of hard to tell the exact size of it over there, but it looks like perhaps about a dozen cars, maybe a couple more, a couple less, but like on the order of a dozen.
Okay, just making a mental note.
Uh huh.
So
And then before walking away, do either the chief or the guard and the booth, do they look sick? Do they look pale or weak or
Ooh.
anything?
Um, I don't think I need a roll for that. They look healthy. It doesn't
Okay.
look like there's anything wrong with them from like a glance.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've seen 3 people go crazy, so
And the physical signs were like intense. They'd be hard to miss. So these people look healthy. Perhaps not, perfectly fit humans that are pinnacles of health, but they don't look like they have this fungal disease thing that's like crazy.
and upon hearing Hallow say we'll be back tomorrow, I would start walking to my car.
All right.
and as we get in our cars, Hal's making a phone call to the sheriff's station to get Uri to look up Dr. What's her name?
Laura again.
Gent. Yeah, look up Laura Gent's address and send it to us.
All right. We'll say they do find that information for you, and you're presented with an address.
All right, let's go see if she's home or if there's anything particularly noteworthy outside of her residence otherwise.
All right. So you find it is a home just like in a suburban area. It's just like a small it's a two-story house that is perhaps a little bit too large for one person to live in is kind of the vibe, but it's still a fairly small house, and it's just kind of packed in with the other houses around it. Small lawn, not much of a gap between the buildings, um, that kind of thing, just outside of town. So not nearly as private as Dr. McCaslin's house. But it otherwise looks normal. You don't see like mail piled up in the mailbox or anything like that. There's no car in the driveway.
So there's no mail in the mailbox at all, or not piled up.
Well, there's 2 letters in the mailbox, we'll say. If you would take a peek in
Okay,
there,
so
yeah,
reasonable day.
reasonable day.
All right, I will put on my hazmat suit and start walking to the front door.
Okay.
I will lean into whoever's in the car with me and be like, is this normal for how you guys do things?
Oh, I was the one in the car with you. I'm already in my hazmat suit, walking away.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll just get out and follow along kind of awkwardly then.
So you 4 in broad daylight in hazmat suits approach a house just in a suburban area with lots of other buildings around.
I'm still in the car. I'm on watch.
Guess just High Tide and Hestia do then?
Tide waves Hestia back. You guys
Okay.
are the.
Hunter
this
is
her first
staying
like,
in the
full
car.
opera. So she's just following the leader the whole time.
So is it just
I
High
mean,
Tide approaching the house then?
I'll say I had to put on the hazmat suit, so if you want to ask me questions, you can.
Should I come with you? Is this how things normally work?
Well, in this particular opera, we've been dealing with certain situations where certain houses have infected people, and we believe Laura to be one of them. So we are just checking in. There's no car in the driveway, so don't even know if she's going to be home, but it's worth a check.
It, do you want me to stay in the car?
Uh, for now, it might be weird for two people in hazmat suits to go up to the front door.
It's far
So
more
yeah,
normal for
then.
a single hazmat suit.
Hey, it's a work day. Everyone's at work.
That is half as many hazmat suits, to be fair.
Better than a bomb suit. Maybe.
Okay, so you in your one hazmat suit approach the house. Where are you approaching it? What are you doing? Just picture like a small like townhouse kind of thing. There's probably a back
Just
door around back, but you can't see it from here.
strolling right up onto the front porch and knock, knock, knock on the door. If there's a doorbell, I will ring it after I knock.
All right. 3 knocks, ring at the doorbell, no response.
Looking at the curtains, are they open or all closed?
There's probably a few random ones open. Perhaps there's a curtain open that leads into what appears to be a living room.
I'll take a quick peek inside.
Fairly normal living room. There's a couch, a TV, a couple coffee tables, what appears to be like a cat tree or something like that in the corner opposite the TV, and like a few plants scattered around the room.
So not torn apart like McCaslin's was.
No, pretty orderly.
Is there a garage?
I think no garage, but a very very short driveway.
Okay. I would walk back to Hunter's truck and say no one's home. Or appears to be home.
Well,
All right, then in we go.
I don't. Hold on.
What?
Breaking and entering?
Yeah?
We don't need to do that yet. I don't think.
And I
Why
would
not?
I would go the extra mile to say I agree with Hallow. It was not messy, torn apart with trash bags everywhere like Dr. McCaslin's was. It was orderly, neat, and clean.
So I think we need to at least try to talk to this person first. I mean, we can wait
Okay.
here. But also, I know that guard was really stonewally, and the fact that they had a sniper on the roof was very strange. What kind of small lab has a sniper on the roof?
I mean, obviously they were up to everything.
It only makes them more suspicious, too.
Wait, there was a sniper on the roof?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't see the sniper on the roof. It was plain as day.
He was trained on high tide while he was talking to that first guard for a while.
No, I did not.
And so my human roll said that the guard was clearly trying to stall, correct? Oh yeah, I see the note right there. And I
It
mean,
felt like he was trying to stall.
he was clearly stalling for something.
Is he
Hunter, did
stalling
you
for tomorrow, maybe? Do we have
Hunter,
to go
did you
back?
notice anything weird?
I could be literally anything. We could go right back now. We could just shoot our way in. Would that be better?
No, I'm just
I
wondering.
actually think
'Cause
it would be, probably, at this point.
You would have to take out the sniper first, and he's under very good cover.
Yeah, I probably can't do that. Not if he knows we're coming.
And I mean, looking at the parking lot, seemed like there was a normal amount of cars.
If we did that, we would want to go back at night. So, listen, I don't like this any better than any of you guys do, but if that guy was stalling, we saw what happens when that fungus grows for so long. Hestia, for uh, some more background information, the body that we originally inspected in this town, Deputy Jacob, the fungus had completely subsumed his body, and information from our handler also revealed that it changes the host at a biological level. It turned him into that weird crab fungus thing. And if that's happening more here, that could be a reason for them to want to stall us out.
I mean, should we try to check out Eden Pit? Maybe Lara's car is there.
I mean, it might have been at the lab too. They just refused to tell us anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not good with guns, so if y'all want to shoot in, that's on you.
Yeah, we should probably check out Eden Pit, though. You're right. A quick trip up to Eden Pit, and then, depending on what time it is, try and catch up with Dr. Gent at her home.
I guess
Do we wanna
fine. Might as well.
do we want to try and coordinate having a police officer watch her home?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Obviously, tell them no interactions without us present, but at least to notify us.
Yeah, you gonna call it in?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So do you call the undersheriff? Is that the person to call?
Yes.
All right. You got Pullman. Hello.
Hello. This is Agent Calder.
Ah.
Uh,
Hello, Agent.
we were just up at Benthic, and we got a little stonewalled. We were wondering if you could spare an officer to keep an eye on Dr. Gent's home and just notify us when she gets home so we could talk to her there. We're in the process of getting the necessary paperwork to get inside the lab, but time is of the essence, and you know, we're gonna go check out Eden Pit. We just want to make sure that we can
I see. That
respond.
that Dr. Gent, do you think she's part of that that group of Proud Boys you were talking about before that came from your chain of command?
If she's not, she's indirectly supplying them because we believe Dr. McCaslin was part of them. And if anybody has more information on the contagious agent that they used, she seems to be the other researcher on that project. So she might know more of where it's from, how to counteract it, critical information for our agency to continue responding.
I would also wave my hand at Hallow and try to get his attention and say, make sure it's maybe an unmarked car and they don't make contact because she might spread something.
Yeah. And he'll pass that on also.
Understood. No contact. Just a stakeout. Notify you upon her arrival. We can do that. I'll send one of my boys out there.
Appreciate your work, officer. Sheriff.
Of course. Pull him out. He hangs up.
All right. There'll be an officer staking it out, so we can head over to Eden Pit.
All right, off we go.
All right. So you drive back out of town. We'll say at this point it's getting towards the later afternoon, early evening. So the sun's starting to get a little bit lower, but it's not quite sunset yet. Just that time of day when the sun's at a bit of an odd angle and some of the shadows from hills in the area are getting pretty long. But other than that, it's not too dark. And you arrive back at that locked gate.
Can I shoot this one?
Wait, there's a
Make
locked
a
gate
lot
at
of
Eden
noise.
Pit?
There's a locked gate at Eden Pit. Yep. So there was
There's not going to be anybody around, right?
No, but gunshots carry.
Okay, so how are we getting through?
It's just a gate, right?
Yeah. You do have a reinforced bumper.
We can climb over it.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
probably
too.
how the kids get in. And actually, I wonder if there's not a hole in the fence further down, because it seems like the kids in the area would also hang out there.
You described it as not a chain link fence, right?
Yeah, it's like a wooden fence around the area, but then it's got a metal gate. It's like I said, it's not a tall fence. It's like one of those. I feel like I see
Yeah.
them everywhere for people that don't want trespassing on their property. Just a little metal pole that kind of swings across, but out of the way of
Okay.
vehicles, and then back again, and then you lock it.
Yeah. I'm thinking of one of those things that traditionally you climb over to get to a hiking trail that can also be a ranger
Yeah.
access trail.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So you could easily climb over it. You just couldn't get a vehicle through without unlocking it or breaking the chain or whatever. It seems like most of the security here isn't so much oh no, people are gonna get in and take things, and more we should warn people not to go here because it's contaminated, and they should know not to go there. There's signs all along the fence saying warning contaminated area and so on and so on.
So there's no sign that the fence is electrified?
Doesn't appear to indicate electrocution now.
Okay.
Also, most of the fence is wooden.
Yeah, but you can always have the metal wire
That's true.
that runs electricity through it. That's what
Absolutely
farmers
correct.
do.
All right. I want to just duck under this gate and hoof it a little bit.
Yeah, might as well. Just gotta make sure we have everything before we
Everyone's
go over.
got their hazmats on?
Got your hazmat.
Zip. Yep.
All right.
Got my knife and gun on the outside of my hazmat suit this time.
Classic.
Might be helpful. And duck under the little gate thing and head on in.
All right. So you guys get in your suits, you duck under the gate, leave your vehicles behind, and get to walking. It's a bit of a walk. It feels like they did put the gate pretty far back from the actual location. You couldn't even see it from the gate, and you have to go through some lightly forested areas. There's a dirt road that's kind of worn down into grooves, into tire grooves that it goes down. It's clearly not a place people visit super often, and they don't keep it super easy to access, but it is a location. And there is a trail leading to where you need to go, so you follow it. And eventually the forests just kind of almost abruptly stop at a certain point. There's a few scattering of trees here and there after a certain point, but the dirt underneath your feet starts to kind of give way to a more rocky terrain, and eventually, even though you're descending, it's like you begin walking on terrain that feels like you're hiking a tall mountain, even though you're descending closer, to the sea level. And eventually, there's like almost no dirt at all, and you're just walking on like this bare tan rock beneath your feet. And then you get a little closer, and that tan rock, now that it's like a wide open area, you can see the pit from here. And a little bit ahead of you, that rock starts to like gray and then darken. And then by the time it reaches the pit, which is an actual pit, it just like dips down into the terrain like a sharp cliff, very steep, maybe not 90 degrees, but maybe like 50 or 60 degrees steep. The stone around that area and close to it is like black, like a pitch black color. And it's almost craggy in a weird way. And it almost, if you had to like put your finger on it, it looks like a location that was like terrain from an alien planet just kind of transplanted here, just slapped down in the middle of New England. That doesn't make any sense for it to exist here.
Is it in the shape of an tetrahedron?
Nope. It's in the shape of a fairly natural lake, like, or a pond. It's a small pond. It's not like a big lake. But the pond itself looks fairly natural in shape. It's just kind of blob shaped, and like a couple odd little things stick out of it at different angles, and like a couple pools of water stick out of it at odd angles. You know what I mean? It's a blobby pond.
Mm.
Yeah, the water inside is very still. It doesn't look like it's fed by any nearby rivers, and yet there's still a pretty significant amount of water here. You imagine it's mostly like rain collection or something. But it's not a very large pit, so no outlets either. Just a collection of stale, very contaminated water. And in fact, even from here, you can see that the water is like blood red.
Is there evidence
Doesn't
of
look good.
a little camp set up for sciencey stuff?
There is
Uh-oh.
indeed. There is a small black like shack, kind of not directly on the cliff leading into the pit, but a little ways up where the rock is a little more flat. And then there are a series of ladders that descend into the pit from there. Like there's a platform and what appears to be a small parking lot, things like that.
In the shack.
Yeah, definitely.
Is the water blood red as in the color fresh blood, or blood red as in looks like it might have blood in it and is that rusty reddish brown color?
It doesn't look like blood was spilled into it and it's kind of murky around it or anything like that. And it doesn't look as solid as blood was, as if this was like a pool of blood. It just happens to be kind of the color of blood. It's still got like the translucent properties of water, and it's a fairly uniform color across it and all of that. It just looks like whatever contaminants are in it have turned it that color. Like it's dissolved a lot of metals and clay or something.
And you said all the rock around it was black?
Yes, like pitch black. At
That's
the
not
base,
ominous looking at all.
not at all. And at the base of the ladders, right at the water's surface, there's some kind of structure that descends into the water. Another, like metal, like boxy structure that it looks like the ladder descends into, and then the structure goes under the water from there.
Nope.
Well, we got to check out the research station at least. Or whatever is in that shack. I assume it's a research station.
And there were no
I have
cars
the
or
science
tire
biology
tracks?
skill.
There are no cars parked here now, and yes, you do have science biology.
I meant on the like trail up. Did it seem freshly disturbed, or?
Oh, freshly disturbed? That's a little trickier. I feel like a roll would be good for that, but I don't know exactly what roll to ask for. I feel like either drive or survival. I feel like really good with cars. Maybe you recognize how cars drove through this area, or if it's survival, it's like recognizing how nature was disturbed.
For me, it's either a 20 or a 10, so not good with either.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, I'd say. But could roll it. The worst you could do is fail and just not know.
Did anyone else see some fresh tracks? I would ask. If anyone has better drive than I do.
I have 50 drive.
I got 70 drive.
Ooh, there you go, man. I even think with 70 drive, I won't even make you roll for it. I think it does look like you've driven on all sorts of dirt roads before, especially you, Hunter, with like being a farmer and going and visiting those ladies out in the woods, and like your uncle lives out in the woods and all that kind of stuff. You've driven on lots of back roads and dirt roads and things like that. And you definitely recognize this is not a road that has been like fully neglected. It clearly has traffic going on it. It doesn't look like it's been left alone for like even a few weeks. Like it looks like it's fairly regularly used for a dirt road.
Yeah, people definitely drive on here all the time. Recently.
I wonder if they've converted all the scientists from that biolab and they're bringing stuff over and experimenting on it. Who knows?
Maybe.
That actually sounds pretty accurate if they're retrieving materials from here.
Let's go check out that shack.
Yeah, maybe they left something here.
Yeah, shack checkout time.
Or are you gonna
Alright.
leave us hanging without checking out the shack?
Oh, you can go to the shack. You arrive there, and it's locked, first of all, and there doesn't appear to be any windows on the building. But it's just like a little like metal shack. Shack is probably putting it to that probably sounds more rickety than it is. It is a like sturdy, industrial looking metal building, like for research.
Is there a vent anywhere? Because I assume it needs air in and out.
Yeah, you do see some vents around the side that have like little hoods over them. But they're fairly small grates, and it appears that they've chosen a large quantity of small vents rather than like a single large vent.
I mean, it's better than nothing to look inside if we can open it somehow.
Just gonna pat the gun a few times while shaking my head because I know they're not gonna go for it.
What kind of lock is on this door? Is it a locked door? How sturdy is the door?
It is a fairly thick looking metal door, and it has a combination electronic combination lock.
Paula, do you still have McCaslin's notes? Did we take his notebook with us?
Yeah, we took his notes.
I start flipping through the notes.
Okay. This is gonna sound weird, but go with me here. High Tide, give me a sanity check at a minus 20%.
Oh no.
With the minus 20%, that is a failure. You start flipping through these pages. The situation suddenly feels very familiar to you. You experience a brief memory of yourself standing in this exact location, flipping through this exact notebook, in a hazmat suit, at this time of day, on this day, in a profound sense of deja vu. And you say, in this memory that you're experiencing, you can't find this note. Maybe you don't say anything, but you're just looking at the notebook. You can't find it. And Hematite speaks up behind you. It says the code is 8698. and then you snap back to the present.
Do I lose any sanity for that?
You do. You're going to lose 1d6 sanity.
Oh! All right, I will say nothing to my compatriots, close the notebook, and punch in the code.
A green light flashes over the door, and as you pull it open, that's where we'll leave off for